What's happening, Green Hill Radio? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Dinner in Green Hill podcast.
We're not at Green Hill.
Well, technically...
We can just say that we're at Green Hill and people will believe it and part of their imagination.
Actually, technically, by the kids in Green Hill growing up, this was considered our Wendy's. And we used to park in the parking lot over there. My friend Drew was especially territorial over the Wendy's.
Drew doesn't really exist.
This was his weed selling spot. Yeah, Drew Oogle. Yeah, what a fun last name. My next door neighbor. Like, is he gonna go down to the Wendy's? No. I mean the McDonald's? No. You're not gonna go all the way down there and then consider that like the McDonald's is Great Brook Valley's restaurant. When my mom's generation were kids, my uncle, like, they were the ones, they didn't like the Great Brook Valley stuff was originally supposed to be for veterans, so it was kind of like a beef seen as by my grandfather's generation because they were veterans, and they were like, well, how come you got this Great Brook Valley set up and then you're putting all these subsidized housing stuff that has nothing to do with the veterans in there? So it became this kind of like thing where the kids in my neighborhood didn't like the kids in their neighborhood, and every once in a while, back when it was small over there, it would squabble back and forth like that thing I told you with the frickin' Tiger Society. The frickin' Miami Asian biker gang that tried to make the little island up there their meeting spot in like the 80s, and a bunch of the guys from the neighborhood fought them. Like, it was crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. But
organized crime?
Yeah, I know, right? Like the cast of Always Sunny in Philadelphia mixed with Ed, Edd and Eddie versus some frickin' biker gang led by the Asian guy from The Hangover is basically what I picture when I listen to these stories from the old guys about what it was like back then.
Yeah. That's a large. I don't want a large.
So according to him, this place used to be overrun by
little
criminals.
Green Hill thugs. No, criminals. We weren't criminals. I mean, the Tiger Society guys were. I mean, unless you're one of those dudes who has a serious problem with pot and you consider selling it to be a criminal activity. But yeah, during the early mid-2000s, you know, this was the hangout spot. We're right next to Green Hill. The entrance to it is literally the Jay's Smoke Shop, the Lincoln Plaza sign right across the street. So yeah, I consider this dinner in Green Hill. The only thing you could do to get closer would be as if you were real back in the day, the bank there next to the oil doctor place.
The oil doctor?
Yeah.
Is that like a car?
Yeah, it was called the Oil Doctor. Now it's called Jiffy Lube or AutoZone or whatever. Back in the day, it used to be the Oil Doctor, and the bank that's right next to it, across from where Walgreens was and the two gas stations, the bank that's right next to it used to be a Friendly's. And man, I don't know what's changed about the weather, but back in the day, it used to get super duper foggy, like crazy foggy in Green Hill. And my frickin' grandfather would drive us to Friendly's on, like, instruments alone, for real. Like, you couldn't see 5 feet ahead of you.
So, there used to be,
good on this.
well, there used to be a breakfast place around here before Denny's. So, it was like, I don't know what it's called, but it's near, well, whoever is listening to this who doesn't know this area won't understand fully, but it's near Planet Fitness, and it shut down. And then Denny's shut down. Stop and Shop shut down. Walgreens shut down. They shut down in CVS on Lincoln Street too.
Yeah. Going downhill.
Here, let's go.
No, but we were never a criminal gang. We were just like the gang of ruffians in the neighborhood that always used to hang out. There was like 30 of us, 40 of us at the most that would fucking jam up a location.
School kids?
Well, just the kids in the neighborhood, all my friends that I grew up with in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like back in the 90s and into the mid 2000s, you know, there was still a lot of kids in the neighborhood. Like now, people don't have families like they used to. There's maybe like 2 or 3 little groups of kids of like, you know, 3 or 4 friends that you see walk around the neighborhood, but nothing like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there'd be like a herd of 30 or 40 of us on our pedal bikes and then dirt bikes when we got older.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of kids around, but like most recently, like further down Lincoln Street, and the school buses, like really based on the time of day, I'm just now kind of earlier in the day getting out of the house.
Well, that Lincoln Street school gets kids coming to it from everywhere. I'm not really talking about that. I just mean like the concentration within a small suburban neighborhood like that is way down from when I was a kid. You know, like it was legit, like just get rid of the jawbreakers and replace them with weed nuggets. And legit, that was like the whole squad of kids in my neighborhood trying to hustle up weed nuggets when we were kids. It was Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah, I've kind of seen that when I was in school too, like kids selling weed and doing whatever. Like I had a friend who, if he wanted to get weed, like I'd go over his house and be like, I'm trying to get weed for us for tonight, is what he'd say. And then it would happen. I'd be like, wow. Just sitting in the boiler room, smoking weed, listening to like Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd. So many days when I was a teenager, and then I just got to a point I couldn't smoke weed anymore.
I thankfully have not gotten anywhere near that point yet.
Oh, I got into situations where like there was domestic violence stuff and let people like doing crazy shit
Over weed.
with weed, yeah. And like I'd be high on weed.
No, over weed. Nobody gets in a domestic violence situation with weed, air quotes, like it's alcohol. Like, oh, you're high and now you're a crazy
No, I mean
person.
people who were actually just like crazy, like people who are domestic violent.
They would have been
idiots.
crazy with or without the weed.
Yeah, but they have a mental health problem where they're just insane. The people who, okay, so I got scammed by a group of people. This is like 10 years ago, or like 9 years ago. They're running a marketing company out of Worcester. It's called Next Up Marketing.
Huh.
And what happened is I was working at Dunkin' Donuts, and this woman walked into the Dunkin' Donuts, and me personally, I was like thinking, oh, maybe I'd want to get with her. Well, what happened is it was a huge waste of time. She offered me a marketing job, which is not a job at all. It is literally a scam. They go door to door, switching people's supplier of electricity.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have like one login for some electric company, and they have a tablet. And they're taking people's social security numbers and IDs and whatever, and saying, oh, you can go door to door. This is how you consult the people. You show them a paper. You can switch their supplier. They might get a gift card. You show them the rate.
They're pretty good, these chicken strips. They're
Chicken
retardedly
tenders.
priced, but they're pretty good.
The price on these?
It's like $7 for
Yeah.
a fucking 4-pack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Better off like going to Aldi and just getting chicken tenders there. But anyway.
For real.
scammers, they would recruit people and say, oh, you're going to make thousands of dollars a week. And they would sit people down in some room where they had a whiteboard and they're trying to present it in a way to just make people think that they're going to get a commission for scamming people, which honestly, switching to suppliers of electricity, it looked like it would be something that wouldn't scam them, but it scammed them, I'm sure, in some way, and scammed the consultants for that. So they had a way of making enough money to where some guy was going to buy a house, right?
The only way I see that working is that they switch you over to some provider that's cheaper to the degree that where they can skim some off the top, which honestly, that's just like normal business.
It actually doesn't look like that realistically, because the thing is, it's like they have one account into a company that's a legitimate supplier of electricity. They get people to do the consulting for them. So like they're consulting people to consult residents at various houses, right? And they scam the people who are going door to door, and they say, oh, well, like, this is how it is that you make a commission if you're the person who signs them up. Well, I got $50 for being out there for like 2 months.
Damn.
And then it got to a point where I'm not like speculating whether this is a scam or not. It's literally a freaking scam.
How were you out there for 2 months and you
Because
only
they'd
got
say
$50?
meet with us, because they're scamming. So they'd say meet with us these days at this time.
Yeah, but I mean, how did you not just throw your hands up and be like, screw these people, I'm not working for you anymore until you pay me? Like,
because I was already getting pressured about the fact that I had a good Dunkin' Donuts job where I was like working over 30 hours, close to 40 hours maybe. I was getting pressured to switch to Blackstone Valley.
oh yeah.
So I had a good job at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't even want to call him my dad because he's a freaking idiot. He was saying, oh, you have to switch to you have to get a better job than Dunkin' Donuts. So I ended up doing Panera Bread, right?
Yeah,
And
one of my friends worked
that was
there.
50 minutes of walking there, 50 minutes back, which actually, I loved walking there and back. I did that a lot.
You know what's funny? Back when I used to work at Polyvinyl, which is like a horrendous shitty factory downtown, but regardless, like I could have, you know, taken the bus with some of my friends that worked there, or you know, bought one of those scooters even at the time or some point, or rode my bike. Could have done a lot of things. Walked there from frickin' Green Hill over there all the way down to Job Finders next to the dollar store in Pennywise. Like, there and back. I'd walk back after a 12-hour shift. Like,
Wow.
crazy. I don't know why the fuck. You would be like a log collapsing into your bed. You're so relaxed and tired by the time you're done with it all.
I had to walk there, work like 8 hours, walk back. During the wintertime, I walked on the highway.
Up way, both hills, and you were getting chased by a giant ball that didn't care about physics.
I was getting chased by people's ignorance.
Uh,
Realistically, in the
That's
convergence
ignorant.
of existence, people are freaking stupid at what they do sometimes. And so, yeah, all those days I walked there, Panera Bread. What happened is the corporate people were having a meeting at a big table, and they said, we're going to overwork this guy as if he's doing 3 jobs, and then we're going to get rid of him. But I was really good at what I did. They let me work there. I was supposed to be a dining room assistant. They had me doing dining room, which is fine, right? Doing dishes is fine too. But I did dining room, dishwashing, barista,
I've done kitchen work.
bathrooms, getting rid of the trash, bringing the dishes back, wiping the tables, going outside, checking that trash, talking to the customers professionally. Like, I made sure I did all of it right. I wasn't slacking at all. I was doing the jobs of like 3
You know, it's
people.
funny too, like the day that I got laid off or fired or whatever, do not returned, because it was a temp job, from Polyvinyl, was the day I went in with, it just seems like that thing with the universe all the time. Seems like you go into stuff, and the time that you go into something with all the oomph and energy and ready to tackle it is the time that some random bullshit fucks everything up. I went in one day, like all pumped, like all right, I'm well rested, I'm ready to tackle the hell out of my shift and, you know, have a good day at work. I get there, and the frickin' machine is messed up, and it's messing up the rolls of plastic, and we end up having to cut like hundreds of rolls of plastic with a box cutter, to the point where my hand was literally starting to bleed, and I took like some paper towel and wrapped my hand up with the frickin' plastic wrap itself.
You didn't have disposable gloves?
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're wearing gloves, it's the fact that you've had to like jam a box cutter through a roll of saran wrap 500 times within 12 hours. Like we had to. I was doing extra stuff that wasn't even my frickin' job.
Yeah,
there was
so
like
that's something where it wouldn't be expected that it would happen that way, and then you have to compensate for it.
Well, I mean, the point is that the machine was malfunctioning. It wasn't our fault. We worked 10 times harder that day. And they looked around and said, well, we can't blame the maintenance staff who are skilled and we need them for this. So we'll just blame it on the lowest guy on the totem pole, the temp worker, and he'll, you know, take the blame for all this
Taking the blame for it doesn't make sense if it's something that's not usually happening. It's like a technical difficulty of the job, right?
Literally.
So then, to say that there's a blame that has to be placed on that is not really it. Like realistically.
Yeah.
But that's stupid. But I've seen that kind of stuff happen, where I get blamed for whatever, right? But the idea is, if somebody's working what they were told to do, but they're also working so much more than what they signed up for, and they don't get respect for it.
Right. There was something wrong with like the plastic mixture too, so the whole factory was on this routine of like the machines messing up constantly. Not as bad as the machine I was on, because the machine I was on had a mechanical problem with it that was exacerbating it and making it 10 times worse. But like the whole factory was messed up that day.
How long did you get to work there for?
Like a year. You know, it was a decent job. I mean, it was BS free. No stupid paperwork to have to scrunch your face up at. Like, I really hate paperwork and BS. Like, just show me what to do, show me what the job is, I'll do it, da-da-da-da, you know? And they just showed you what to do and let you do your job and, you know, clock in, clock out. It was physically laborious and very tiresome.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that kind of like, you know, so many problems in our modern civilization aren't the kind of problems that they get our cortisol pumping, and they get us frustrated and stressing and prematurely aging because they're not problems that you can hit in the face with a club. You know, they're not problems. Our caveman physiology doesn't know what to do with the adrenaline dump when you stare at a frustrating piece of paperwork.
Well, look, this is what I've observed in my life, right? There are these breakdowns of how things are happening, right? Sometimes somebody comes along and does something really stupid to try to mess things up, but it's as if they're inherently drawn to being that person who does that task, that tries. They set off like a cataclysmic event.
Yeah.
With it, like cataclysmic events resulting from a big problem that was created against someone's life. And that's what I've seen.
Hello? Hello? So I need to tell you something. Yo, let him be. No, Raymond is calling me back. He's not doing shit. No, he called me back. He called me back.
We hit 805 members yesterday.
Exactly 805?
Yeah.
Not 806?
Yeah, 805. I give him gave my little thanks for joining the resistance speech.
I don't have to lie.
Turns out, I don't know if I showed you the video of this. Turns out, for almost a year, bro, nobody noticed it. Nobody clicked on this guy's profile and did any research and realized who he was. For almost a year, bro, we had Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vidman from the Pentagon in the group posting propaganda BS and me shitting on him vigorously every day with anime clips until he finally gave up, because I would just ruthlessly pick apart through Google searches in the comment section everything he ever posted. But he was legit like somebody the Trump administration calls a traitor. Like legit Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vidman sat there chilling. Like while I politically, debate-wise, threw him through a freaking mountain every other day. That my favorite post was one that I answered his stuff with, where it was a meme from Invincible, where freaking Invincible's dad is throwing Invincible through a mountainside.
I don't know what Invincible.
You never seen that show?
Is,
it's
no.
great, but it was Squidward instead, and I'm like, he's like, have you had enough yet? And Squidward's like, no.
Wait, so did he acknowledge you?
What do you mean? Did he acknowledge me?
Wait, did you say that he was
He was
in your
a member
comments?
he was a member in the group, because I would invite people even that disagreed with me to debate them, and I literally turned it into a segment where almost every day him and he had a lackey named Honey Danley. Him and his lackey Honey Danley would post some nonsense propaganda every single day or every other day, and I would respond to it in the like I would let him post in the group, even though I disagreed.
On the Green Hill Radio.
Yes, even though I disagreed with him. He was a member in there, and he posted like at least a couple times a week, and I would crap all over him mercilessly, and nobody realized who this frickin' guy was, you know. So it's like,
so the propaganda that he posted, and like, what is it?
oh, just like, you know, I mean, I don't really remember like one was like Trump shutting off the funding to the National Weather Service, and him claiming that was, this is just one example out of, like, it's hard to think of because it's like over the course of a year, probably hundreds of fucking examples. But more recently, the hurricanes that hit the Midwest, and he's like, oh, the reason why this happened is because Trump cut the funding to the National Weather Service that sits there and tries to get you to think climate change and global warming is real, so we can sign on to $100 trillion a year climate credit tax from Brussels. So, oh, Trump turned off the National Weather Service, and that's why they didn't know. No, and then you look it up, the local area itself, each area of the country frickin' has its own localized weather monitoring stations and response and weather channels that tell them what's going on. The national government service of compiling all these statistics and stuff has nothing to do with that. So it'd be like that
extra.
It would be like that kind of thing all the time. Like, he would, oh, Trump's a Nazi, that kind of stupid shit all the fucking time. Like,
I think people who are just focusing on these politicians are like, it's kind of like a vortex.
Stuff I can easily, like, Google and put in the comment section and there was an interesting moment. So like around June, in the beginning of June, we went back and forth. I crapped on him as usual, and I still didn't know who he was, and he came back at one point with a frickin' little 9/11 documentary that had to do with the stuff about 9/11 that I was posting. So I posted a 9/11 documentary back. It was sort of like a handshake, wink, tip of the moment, truce, tip of the hat, truce kind of moment. Yeah, for real.
It's ridiculous.
How? How's it sound ridiculous? This guy's been arguing with me, coming from the position of a government propagandist that works at the Pentagon for almost a frickin' year, and then he finally comes back with a documentary that's about the kind of stuff I would talk to. He comes back with a 9/11 documentary. And then I share a 9/11 documentary to him, my favorite one, 9/11 in Plain Sight. Classic. And this was right before the whole June 14th uprising stuff happened. And he left like the day before the June 14th goofy uprising. So it was like he knew that was going to happen before anybody was talking about it, because he was high up. Like, I only realized that he was somebody important because when I went on his profile, I seen videos of him up at podiums giving speeches. I still didn't know who he was, right? Then later, literally a couple of days ago, I'm watching the Alex Jones show, and in the middle of a Darren McBreen report, he starts talking about the traitor Alexander Vidman. And I'm like, holy shit, look at the picture. That's literally him. Oh my God.
I just want to say something though. Someone being a public figure doesn't make them important. Like, the content of their character is what's important.
Yada yada. In a perfect world, fine. But in the real world, in a perfect world, fine. But in the real world, I spent a year crapping all over a Pentagon propagandist lieutenant colonel. Viciously crapping all over him. Embarrassingly so. To the point where he deleted all his posts after he left. Luckily, I screen recorded some of them and made videos out of it, just breaking down the goofiness of the stuff he was saying, so I got proof that he was there. Regardless, it's just... I got Western Critique posting videos. I had some guy, Data Maxwell, smaller channel, had a really interesting esoteric knowledge kind of about the spiritual, more like Eastern mysticism, karmaic spirituality type stuff. But it was an interesting series of videos to watch. Like, I've got a good handful of YouTubers in there. Eddie Exotic was one of them. Frickin' Tim O'Keefe, of course. That's like my heavy hitter there. I consider once you get like past, once you get 1,000 people in a Facebook group, then it's like legit. It's no longer fucking like it's official. I don't know how else to say it. You've made it to the point of officialness. Now it's real. It's the equivalent of when you hit 4,000 subs on a YouTube channel.
So
you get monetized.
If they're engaging with the content, that's good. Like I said before, it's really easy to just invite someone to like a page on Facebook and then they like it. But if you have...
Yeah, but it's not that kind. It's not a page.
It's
not like 10%, a page either. It's not like a Facebook page either. Plenty of people have those. I get those annoying links to go like
because
somebody's
you try to
page
make it a
all the
group-oriented
time.
thing.
No,
because
it legitimately is. There's a legitimate difference. There's a Facebook page is not the same as a profile, and that's not the same as a group.
Yeah. So
anybody can anybody can fill their profile cap of 4,000 friends get to the point where you're not allowed to. He's communicating with aliens right now. He's communicating with aliens right now. Oh yeah, they're up there. He's sending his brainwaves.
I'm doing the maintenance for the human race.
He's maintaining his brain, you know. But oh, what was I saying? Like, yeah, no, you know, anybody can send 4,000 friend requests or get 2,000 friend requests.
There's group pages, there's profile pages. Like if there's a topic page or
it's not
group.
like one of those topic pages where it's literally
it looks similar,
says
honestly. I don't
where
use
it says
Facebook anymore,
page. Like it literally says pages on those pages. It says Facebook page. Like no,
okay,
it's not that thing.
It's a technical fancy thing, and it's a little bit different.
You're when you join Green Hill Radio, New World Order News, you're putting your name behind a symbol of a giant middle finger flipping off the New World Order. Like you don't just you see what I'm saying? Like because you're there. You're debating people in the comment section and dropping that link to stunlock some sleeper into reconsidering his life view, all right, his world view. You're sharing this. These videos are going out on the internet. Somebody comes back to the group and questions you and says, well, why are you a member of this frickin' group? Right? It's not like YouTube where subscribers are anonymous.
Yeah.
You got to explain your position potentially.
What I'm really getting at.
It's a public thing.
What I'm really getting at with
membership
this.
list.
So I don't like Facebook because
like pages have followers. This has a membership list with people's fucking names on it.
So what you can actually do for your Facebook group is you can have there's a join button, but you can have prerequisites of like answering questions about why it's important to them or whatever, or what they're talking about or believing.
My thing just has the spiel of the group. This is a platform for citizen journalists.
So as long
looking to
as,
talk
long as
about
they have an idea
events.
of what kind of Facebook group they're joining, then they have the idea.
Well, yeah, because
I'm just saying that's important.
You're not like I get just as many friend requests and participation requests as I do inviting people to the group and friend requesting people myself. Like I'll just make a round and go to my other, like I have a couple of fake profiles that I use to break outside of the internet ghetto, the internet echo chamber. And because I told people like I want to kind of maintain the feel of my news feed. When I look at my news feed, I see all my friends that I grew up with and know for real, in person, that I've chilled with. Like I'd have you on there, chill with you in person, right? I don't want, and most of them aren't my kind of New World Order conspiracy theorist, awake air quotes type person, right? They post normal stuff that my generation would post, and I kind of like that. I don't want to have my friends feel super crowded and like, oh, what the hell, what happened? They wake up one morning and they see all this crazy shit in my newsfeed because I accepted 4,000 friend requests from random people. I like it to look how it's always looked.
So that's good because that gives it a basis.
I'm just talking about my normal Facebook profile. When you see me posting in the group, and if you click on that profile, you know that it's not some BS, it's just a normal profile of a normal guy that he's had since he was in like frickin' high school. And you can scroll back for a decade and see the consistency in my track record of what I've been saying. And then you can find the next even older profile, the next 3 even older profiles that all look the exact same. You can find the group Illuminati that I started in 2012. That never took off, only got a handful of members. I was, too young, immature, people weren't ready at the time to fucking hear this kind of stuff either. But if you look at that group, it's the same kind of stuff, it's the same routine. Alex Jones show, here's what's going on in the world, let's listen to some music, have a movie for the weekend kind of stuff. Like, this model that is now being successful was people weren't ready for it back in 2012. When I made this freaking video, recently, I got my 2025 YouTube recap, and it goes through and it says you are in the top 0.3% of YouTube curious minds that go around and explore different channels. I got an award from YouTube after I've watched 3,000 different channels apparently in the last year. Probably a good chunk of that is shorts, but it says I get a fucking YouTube award that says you are the most likely person on YouTube to discover the newest conspiracy theory before anybody else. Yeah, so so there's like, you know, it's not just some, you know, willy-nilly goofy thing. Like I said, like, all right, here's some real crazy stuff that we'll get into conversating about. Frickin' these series of videos where this guy, have you seen these series of videos where this guy's doing the whole face slider symmetry matchup thing to determine, you know, all the conspiracy theories about, oh, this actor is really this actor and they faked his death, that kind of thing.
So basically, there's people who, it's not exactly like deep fakes, but it's different. It's like the conspiracy theory of this person's a clone.
Like, yeah, like well, this guy I was watching recently was going way crazier than it's cloning. He was like cloning, the whole cloning thing is just a psyop that they use to make you think that they're not vampires, because they're vampires.
Vampires?
Yeah, like the adrenochrome drinking, frickin' Dexter with the blood on his face, Jennifer Aniston.
It's way off in the deep end of
we're not talking about movie vampires. We're talking about the real world biological equivalent. I mean, what do you describe Peter Nygaard as when he's talking about buying the babies that he's made with these African supermodels off of them to put them in a blender and then drink them? That's a vampire. You're doing the, I forget what it's called, the thing spiders do when they eat. You're sucking a whole cup of human up. The whole Megan Fox, me and MGK drink blood thing. Oh, we don't drink a lot of it, but you know, we do our rituals and all that stuff. Frickin' the multiple celebrities throughout Hollywood coming out with what they call the vampire face mask treatment now for anti-aging, where they just cover their face in blood. And of course, the classic adrenochrome conversation that has become really freaking commonplace. It used to be like, oh, holy crap, you actually know what the hell that is back in the day, you know?
What they really want to hide is what they're not going to talk about.
So they tell you it's clones and body doubles and BS when it's really these people. But anyways, that's what this guy is saying, that these guys
I love the fact that there's a Kim Jong-un body double. The idea that they have a guy sitting at a buffet.
Yeah,
and
he has to maintain.
If he doesn't have the right haircut, he's going to get executed. They're going to find the next guy.
Like, you didn't eat enough
kind of looks
chicken
like
strips, bro.
If he falls asleep while he's being given the presentation on how to become Kim Jong-un, then he's going to die too.
Oh my god. But yeah, frickin' I totally forgot to talk about the whole thing going on back at the building, but we'll get to that.
What building?
Back at fucking Payne Street. Like the whole thing that we were gonna talk about, but it's whatever. I wanna
wait, hold on, give me a hint.
Like I said, the whole situation going on when I got arrested, and making a video that's like, all right, if you're seeing this, then this and this happened.
Oh, the parking ticket.
Yeah, the parking ticket. Frickin' I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette while you get organized and shit. And
9 times out of 10,
we'll like finish this.
When someone tells a lie.
Someone tells a lie, what?
I'll just leave it at that. It's for people to interpret.
Yeah. Eddie over there. You could learn a thing or two from that line, I guess. Yeah, I'll be right back. This is what they call dead air on radio. But I'll have to show you these videos. But this guy's doing like the whole routine of matching up birthmarks and freckles and scars and stuff. And he's over here, I swear to fucking God, dude. In his video, he does like his whole facial analysis routine. I'll have to show it to you and see what you think about it. But he goes, Hitler didn't die in Argentina. He moved to America.
Oh, so I was watching a Joe Rogan video where he's basically saying there were people who were tasked with trying to find Hitler as if he was in Spain.
Well, no. Okay. If you read the old book, The Rat Lines, or you watch the new show on History Channel, Hunting Hitler, he had a custom Condor plane that had a 2,000-mile flight range. He took that from Tempelhof Airport over to Spain. Franco was his ally, and he went from there in a U-boat down to Argentina.
I have no idea who Franco is.
The dictator of Spain during World War II.
He went to Argentina?
After Spain. He went to... Spain had a port. Spain had like the only port functioning still that was friendly to them, to the Nazis. And
so then what's the whole thing of like he took cyanide with... Didn't he take cyanide with someone?
Oh, that's his double. And me, blessed with the fantastic and sometimes annoying memory that I have, inconvenient. I remember all the way back in the early 2000s when I was a kid watching the National Geographic Channel when they went over to Russia to examine the remains that they had left over from the Fuhrer bunker, and they found that it was actually a woman's skull. It wasn't Hitler.
I heard about that before.
Yeah. So that's like not common knowledge to most people. If they didn't, it's one of those things where it's like, no, you got to believe me. I seen the freaking special. They showed it to you once years ago.
Here's the thing about, I don't just want to say history because I feel like that's too much of a blanket statement. There's so many pieces of information that get talked about these key events in history, right? And there's like 5 different theories for one thing that happened, right? So when I look at or hear about this kind of stuff, I'm very there's a point where I can't even be speculative about it anymore because it's so much information overload of what it is. But do I think that it's possible that maybe Hitler could have escaped? Yeah, maybe.
Well, the evidence is very convincing. The fact that he has tunnels going from the Führer bunker to Tempelhof Airport, the fact that we know of the custom Condor model, which was his personal plane with the extended flight range, the fact that there is literal German-style architecture mansions built, rotting in the frickin' woods in Argentina with miniature weapons factories, too, that he was setting up. And it just so happens that the bathroom is filled with empty bottles of the various medications Hitler was taking for his stomach and other ailments that he had. Frickin'...
Why would he take medication for his stomach? He just had...
He had all
gut bacteria?
No, he had all kinds. He had like ulcers and all kinds of shit. He was blown up like dozens of times.
He was drinking alcohol?
No. But he didn't smoke either. He was a vegetarian.
So
but the
methamphetamine.
But no, I mean he was getting older. He was doing methamphetamine. He was on a whole bunch of other mixture of stuff that his doctor Moreau in his journal referred to as Hitler's daily injections. He literally wrote, like, the Fuhrer was seeming tired today. I gave him his injections and he perked right up and he was ready for the meeting. Like Pervitin, the liquid meth. He was on a bunch of stuff and his health was failing him because of it. But, so, and all the assassination attempts. Like, you got a lot of wood chip shrapnel from the table that blew up in Operation Valkyrie, for instance. You know, so just generic pain. But it's all too... Now, this is like what I'm willing, and the viewers of Average America daytime television are willing to accept. Like, I feel like chemtrails and Florida in the water and Hitler... Fluoride in the water and Hitler moving to Argentina. We have all these as established facts.
Fluoride in Florida.
Yeah, fluoridated Florida water. Now, the step further that this guy takes, that I'm like, what the hell, is that Hitler fucking moved from Argentina during Operation Paperclip and Werner von Braun.
Paperclip?
Yeah, Operation Paperclip. Warner von Braun getting set up, writing that Elon would be the next, king of Mars. And then, so during that time period, Trump's dad, Frank Trump, gets all the Tesla. He was in charge of the Tesla confiscated papers from when he died.
Nikola Tesla,
yes.
Not Elon Musk.
Yes. See how they like to double this shit up on you like that. So basically, he's doing the whole, face sliding to match the symmetry and scars and pimples and, freckles and all that kind of birthmark type stuff. And he's going, Adolf Hitler moved to the United States and became Frank Trump. Elon Musk is Werner von Braun. Look at how the scars underneath the eyes and the birthmarks match up perfectly.
These people are absolute lunatics.
I know.
The lunacy of what this is. To just say, remember when Barack Obama was Osama bin Laden? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember those.
It's just so funny. It's
that
like you give a person a freaking photo editor, look what they can do.
Well, I mean, he wasn't, though, he was just freaking...
I firmly believe that he wasn't Osama bin Laden.
He was just... Well, I didn't see no Osama. I scrolled through because I scrolled through all of his videos because I was trying to find Alex Jones's Bill Hicks, which I eventually did find some Alex Jones's Bill Hicks stuff.
That one was really,
full breakdown.
Interestingly funny because of... It's just, the similarity. But, no, it's not... That's not what it is. People
but it's
are
a
living
similarity
their lives in a deceit.
It's a similarity at one point in his life. They looked similar, but if you look at the last few pictures of Bill Hicks taken before his death, he looked nothing like Alex Jones.
So here's what's interesting.
At any point through Alex Jones's life.
Here's what's interesting. So more than being caught up in whatever they're propagating about this information, look at what the information could have done over decades and over years. So, like, if we're talking about a big, I call them cataclysmic events because they are, in a way. It's what kind of information is going to branch off from an event. Like, you can witness an event happening, just as you can read a sentence and process what that information is without putting your ideas to it or someone else's ideas to it. This is part of how humanity was failing, because people, the way that they're intaking information or the way that they're outputting information, it's become proxies of excuses about what they're telling their ideas in ways where that's what the internet largely has a problem with. It's what the flow of information is digitally, but also like how are people interfacing with the world based on what they think they know to what they're being told. And so this is interesting. You have to look at the fact of like,
So what you're saying is,
before the internet existed, there was a different way.
What are you saying? What is the end goal to this guy making these videos, making these claims?
No, what I'm saying is,
Look at the result of the information.
what
as
I'm saying
opposed
is
to
real life
it itself.
look, real life is we're sitting at this table right now, right? Having a conversation. Well, what happened is there's all sorts of events that are happening in life where if people are putting information out there, these are like downward trends of information that have been absorbed by the human mind or the brain, and then people are reacting to the stimuli of this information and perceived notions of like suggestive ideas and how they assimilate themselves into this information. Like it's an idea of, look, think about how information was traveling through people's brains and it gets onto the internet. So there's these hives, I don't even want to call them hive minds or hives, but they are these points of convergent information where people are interacting with information. Like the way that information is clashing into information in ways where it's right there, but there's other stuff that's speaking other ideas to people's brains, and people are kind of subconsciously immersed into a meeting point with that information. So what this really is you could see that, let's say like in the 70s, well, you think about what the 70s, like you have an idea of what you think the 70s was, of that information, that time, that technology.
Well, we have an idea of it based off of the echo left over, the shadow of
yes,
it in media.
but what
older
defines
people's
what that
memories.
echo means to someone's brain? You could look at it as, it's kind of weird because like advertising information has a similar connotation to it, but at the same time, there was a time before the internet, and when people started having easier access to faster information, like revealing of that information to themselves, they got to a point where they just kind of had these social media bubbles. Maybe I shouldn't call them bubbles, but like social media beacons of information. So let's say like TikTok existed after YouTube. People start figuring out they like something or they subscribe to something.
Well, the thing with regards to TikTok and the Great Awakening as a whole that I find kind of funny in this like comparison of stuff or beacon of information is that like TikTok isn't really a beacon of information any more than YouTube or any other platform. It's just that it's all short form content, so you get these little bites. Whether or not people actually look up the full version of some 30-second clip of Alexander Jordan Maxwell or fucking, you know what I mean, talking about something, right? So, like, this information has always been on YouTube. The Hour, The Time, Bill Cooper episodes, and Jordan Maxwell lectures, and Steve Quayle, and so on and so forth.
There's an accessibility. There's also a popularity of that information over time.
The TikTok is reaching a younger generation, a new generation that's already, because like we had YouTube Shorts, the short form content is brain rot. It's not even about what's in the content. It's about the amount of time.
What I'm really explaining here is that, see, there's something that's more advanced than only the idea of the internet or how people are perceiving it. There's an integration of ideas that people have. It's as simple as like okay, what I'm basically explaining is the real life implications of all this information are that where someone is at in their life.
Well, no, I mean, see, wait, what does this have to do with Hitler becoming Frank Trump?
Because this is all you're gonna understand it after I'm done explaining this. The fact that people are saying they're making the accusation. So, like, they're making this accusation about Hitler becoming Frank Trump, which I think is ridiculous and is baseless.
Right.
Except that's their idea. Now, what I'm telling you is that this isn't a secret, but it feels and it seems like it has become a secret to the way that people live. And what I'm going to say about this is people have propagated information, right? But you as a person have your live of your life, which means you can listen to or look at information on the internet or whatever. When you're doing something, like if I pick this cup up, my brain has just used the idea, or like my motor functions, I'm picking this cup up, right? So I have a witness of what that is. But I could have an idea of something else that may or may not be true. If that is interacting with me picking this cup up, what does that actually mean? You, like, when you see that, this integration of what that is living. What I'm saying is, all the way back to Hitler of that time, there are these events where somebody picks up a cup, but they're doing it in a way where they're doing it in a specific way. Now, the method that they get there is somehow being interfaced with by that information that could or could not be true. That's what I'm saying, is that if people aren't aware of this mechanism, the functionalities of what that is to everything that they're doing or thinking or feeling, then they're always somehow lost in their mind of what that is. They're not really lost, but they believe in a confusion where they can't see what's beyond that. So when I'm telling you, people made these branches of ideas from these cataclysmic events, they're trying to make they're trying to make a different life in a way where it's weird. It's like the way that humanity is people have interacted with these ideas, but it's all passing through and it's all clashing in a way where it's really not, but it happened. And then people make excuses to themselves, like, how did that happen? Well, that exists in my other idea, or it exists to my excuse. But that's what I'm saying.
So you're saying it's like the equivalent of, oh, we can't understand how the pyramids were built, so it must have been aliens.
Yeah. So these assumptions, it's people have been.
It only took you like 20 minutes to say that.
But it's important to follow what that actually means, because there's a specific explanation for it, that it has specific words that mean exactly what it is. So it's not just to say that people are confused by themselves. It's that information and the way it travels. It's literally people's brains, your neurons and your synapses.
Oh, yeah.
And all of
actually physically wiggling around and stuff in there.
Yeah. So all of the interaction is into these convergent points of information and these cataclysmic events and people doing things in these chain reactions. So think about a world where Hitler never existed, right? Okay, so how many people will be alive today. So this is all breaking down on genocides, on wars, how we got here, right here. See, this is the thing that's the important point of all of it. Because when people are trying to find the validity of, like, why does this matter to me, it's...
Well, I mean, like you said earlier, and I didn't, like, interject with what I was thinking at the time, but, you know, what are the implications of this information? Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, well, let me start here at a baseline. The baseline is that we already know there is a, you know, biological, real world, less dramatized, less fictionally flamboyant, we shall say, to the movie vampire, actual vampires, people who drink adrenochrome, people like Peter Nygaard and Zorro Ranch and Epstein, who run these facilities where they extract the blood from children that they're torturing, the satanic ritual cults, all this. We know this baseline level exists
If
of
they
adrenochrome.
If they do and they're saying it publicly, I don't think that's likely. What I believe is much more likely is that they have a counterintelligence idea.
The oldest reference to it that I know of is Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where Benicio del Toro's character says to him, reach into my shaving kit and grab that little brown vial. That's adrenochrome. It'll knock your socks off, right? Oh, that shit right there, it's like $2,000 for that little bottle or whatever. Like, that to me, you know, the Hillary stuff, the people in government stuff, the vampire face mask stuff, Zorro Ranch, Epstein, all of this is baseline. We know chemtrails exist. We see Brennan at the Council on Foreign Relations giving a conference on high atmospheric aerosolic injections. We see AOC.
Yeah.
We see AOC at C-SPAN saying, oh, we can buy big business another 10 years, but we got to be careful that they don't just do things as usual, because this chemtrail stuff isn't a fix-all, end-all situation. It's a Band-Aid to buy us time.
So many ways that you can avoid that, so where it's laughable that they would say things about adrenochrome.
Well, what are you going to do about it if the movie Daybreakers, you ever seen the movie Daybreakers? Vampire movie where, like, it's like a vampire movie where modern society exists and the vampires are real, but the rest of the people don't know it, that they've basically taken over the world, and all the people in positions of power and corporations are actually frickin' vampires, and they have big, massive underground facilities where they keep all the homeless people and people that they've managed to disappear in order to farm their blood. Like, so what we're drawing a delineation line between adrenochrome. We're drawing a delineation line between Megan Fox, MGK, blood rituals, and a little bit of sippy here and there. Adrenochrome, Bill Gates, Peter Nygaard, little bit of anti-aging if you get enough scrotums from Israel, Jennifer Aniston on Ellen.
Or if you take vitamins.
Quote, right? So we have that baseline, and we got that delineation line between a little bit of believable natural healing from this, and the other side of it is maybe certain bloodlines are, like the blue bloods of the royalty, maybe certain bloodlines of people, the Tepish, Vlad, Dracul, Transylvania, House of Windsor.
What I actually really want to say about this...
All right, but wait. Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, House of Windsor, Transylvania, right? Maybe certain bloodlines... This is the step further into the speculative, beyond the baseline of reality that we know is real, is that maybe certain bloodlines do receive a much greater healing effect from the ingestion of blood. And so then begs the question, like, and we should pause this and let me see if